All praise and double honor is due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. All right, we're back at it with another mighty Shabbat. All right, can you bring out Psalm chapter 133, verse 1? All right, another mighty Yahweh Shabbat. It's good to see brothers.
It's the book of Psalms, chapter 133 and verse 1. Behold, how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity.
All right, it's a beautiful thing for brothers to dwell together in unity. You got to keep this in your mind. I think about it every time I see brothers every Friday or Saturday. It's good to be around brothers. It puts you in a good spirit, right? I mean, working through hell all week, being amongst the heathen, the nations, wicked men, wicked women, unclean people, just a whole lot of folly. There's nothing in this world. You can't even have good dialogue with this world. I mean, even Lot was vexed with the conversation of the filthy and the wicked. So how much more even to this very hour as time progressed throughout the generations? I mean, you got people talking about being a robosexual. You got people just talking about freaking off in a bar, in an alley. You got people just talking about smoking hookah. I mean, I had to hear this. I had to hear somebody talk about them making a podcast, or not a podcast, but a vlog of them just running errands and just smoking cigarettes and meeting up with women. This is the things I hear at work. So to be amongst brothers, and you're bound to hear godly conversation. Can you bring out a precept in Sirach? That's 21 verse. Let me get it real quick.
What did it say?
It's Sirach 20, and it's like a 21 and verse 22.
It's the book of Sirach, chapter 21 and verse 22. A foolish man's foot is soon in his neighbor's house, but a man of experience is ashamed of him.
So start at verse 16.
Verse 16. The talking of a fool is like a burden in the weight, but grace shall be found in the lips of the wise.
Right. The talking of a fool is like a burden in the way. Right? That's plain upon tables. That's as simple as it can be. Right? Talking to a fool is just a burden. It's vexing. Bring out start at verse 15.
Verse 15. If a skillful man hear a wise word, he will commend it and add unto it.
And that's what you do around brothers. You may hear a brother bring out a precept, a certain verse, a certain point touching on history, right? And they're going to commend it, and they may say, oh yeah, have you heard about this as well? You can link that up with this. Go ahead.
As soon as one of no understanding heareth it, it displeaseth him, and he casteth it behind his back.
And that's why you can't talk about the truth at work. That's how they're gonna treat your words and your wisdom, right? Which is like in fine gold. They're gonna cast it behind their back. You tell somebody that you're an Israelite at work and they're not black, they'll say, nigga, what? And they just look at you crazy. They'll call you a fool. They say hey, there was a brother at work. He had to deal with this Jake, and this Jake said, well, I believe in Zeus. He literally said he believed in Zeus and he worshiped Zeus. So, I mean, all the precepts the brother was bringing out, breaking down, I mean, he just had to keep hearing that folly. And that fool kept casting the wisdom of the Lord behind his back. It went in through one ear and not the other. And again, this is what we go through on a day-to-day basis, being at work and being in this world. So it just goes to show how grateful you should be to be around brothers and to have a brotherhood. Because at least being around brothers, you're going to hear wisdom, you're going to hear will and kindness, you're going to see the fruits of the Spirit. And that's pleasing before both God and man. You got it.
We get the book of Philemon, chapter, verse 2.
It's the book of Philemon, verse 2.
20, my bad.
Verse 20. Yea, brother, let me have joy of thee.
What the Lord say?
Yea, brother, let me have joy of thee.
All right.
In the Lord. Refresh my bowels in the Lord.
Right, so we love coming around each other because, I mean, we the brotherhood. We got joy one in another. And you come around the body after a long week and your spirit get refreshed in the Lord just through the zealous spirit of the brotherhood, through the zealous spirit of unity of us all coming together. So we be happy to see each other. We be joyful seeing one another. And we get refreshed. Like the brother said, you vexed with the conversation of the wicked, right? You vexed with all the, probably can't have biblical conversation at work. Nobody want to talk about the Bible. Nobody want to talk about the precepts. Like you say, you know, Jake, they just cast the word behind them as if it don't matter. And then not only that, you got to overhear all the conversation of the wicked. All Jake talk about is blunts and freaking off, right? Going to drink this and going to drink that, this party, that party. Football, football, football. Basketball, basketball, basketball. Fan. Yeah, try to make some money. So, you feel me? It's a beautiful thing when at the end of the week and it's all said and done and you're away from all of that and you got the joy of the brethren and your spirit get a chance to be refreshed.
So, right, all of that is said so we can touch on the main lesson, which is top 20 Bible questions, bread edition. Right, last week was milk. We got through as many questions as we could through the Spirit. The time failed us. We'll be able to tackle 20 more this week. Right. So with that, we're going to start with one of these commonly asked Bible questions. Why does God allow death and destruction on the land? Right, it's pretty simple, pretty plain, but it's also pretty deep too. And you can go even farther to ask, well, why does God allow the so-called so-called innocent to perish? Right? Because that's included into why God allows things to happen, right? Punishments and disasters and things of that nature. So let's first start with the book. Let me get this. We got to understand first and foremost, the Lord has things set up from the very beginning. So all the things and devastations and traumas that happened, it was already set up from the very, very beginning for a certain purpose and season and time. Can you get Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 1?
It's the book of Ecclesiastes chapter 3 and verse 1. To everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven. A time to be born and a time to die. A time to plant and a time to pluck up that which is planted.
Read that again.
A time to be born and a time to die. A time to plant and a time to pluck up that which is planted.
That's right. It's a time to pluck up certain men, and men is referred to as grass in the scriptures, even in the book of James, right? Sometimes it's time for men to get plucked up out of this world, and other times it's time for men to get planted, right? Men to be born, so on and so forth.
You got it. Let's get Job 4 and 7, classic.
Can you start verse 6, Dr. Shaw?
Yeah, we can start at 6.
It's the book of Job chapter 4 and verse 6. Is not this thy fear, thy confidence, the uprightness of thy ways and thy hope? Remember, I pray thee, whoever perish being innocent, or where were the righteous cut off?
Right, so like real quick. So technically, like, nobody really died innocent for real. Because the question was, why did the Lord allow great destruction and stuff like that in the land? Well, you got a lot of people, they commit a lot of wickedness in the land. So the Lord got to get up with them for that wickedness. It even happened to us. We start going off, our land kind of get overthrown. We get overthrown as a people. So it's the same thing with all these other nations and stuff out here as well. They do wicked things and they corrupt the land. And I believe it tell you in Deuteronomy, it talk about how the land will spew you out. Right? Mm-hmm. So when the land is spewing somebody out, it's really just the Lord getting up with those people for defiling the heck out of that land. Because blood defiled the land. So you got a lot of bloodshed and stuff going on. And then you see a massive earthquake over in China. That's because they eating abominations all day long. That's why the land getting judged and overthrown. And they not really innocent. But on the world view, they looking at, oh my gosh, 20 million dead in China. What could they have possibly done? And they doing very abominable things. So they not really perishing innocent. Nobody perishes innocent. Either you right or you wrong. Go ahead.
Job 4 and 7.
Yep.
Remember, I pray thee, whoever perish being innocent, or where were the righteous cut off?
Right. Verse 8, Buck Shot.
Even as I have seen, they that plow iniquity and sow wickedness reap the same.
One more time.
Even as I have seen, they that plow iniquity and sow wickedness reap the same.
Right. So you could plow and sow on a spiritual level. Plowing and sowing usually go into land, right? You got what's it called, agriculture, right? Farming, stuff like that. Husbandry, right? So they say, why do the land get destroyed and things of that nature? Because while being in the land, you got people that plow and sow wickedness and iniquity. So the Lord said they're gonna reap the same. So you got to really examine and, instead of sitting there, thinking, okay, well, dang, that's bold, this, how that happened. Well, what did they do? Are they striving for righteousness? What's going on in the land, man? They plowing and sowing iniquity. So that's definitely a chief reason why the Lord allow a lot of things to happen amongst people in the land, and why a lot of lands and stuff get destroyed, like the question asked.
Right. And the Lord's not always going to send fire down. The Lord doesn't always have to kill you by a bear. He can and will use another tool, for lack of better words, to slay you and to cut you down.
Yeah.
And we're going to get some examples. You got a precept?
I just got a quick precept in the law. It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 32 and verse 39. See now that I, even I, am he, and there is no God with me. I kill, and I make alive. I wound, and I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand.
That's right. There's nothing you can do to escape the judgment of the Lord. And again, you still may be asking, what about the innocent? Why them? Well, nobody's innocent. We already touched on that. That's James, just like in Job 4:7. Nobody on earth can say that they're truly, sincerely innocent. Because on a deeper level, we have past lives.
Yeah.
And you may have to still pay for some of the things you did in the ancient world, right? You're living out your judgment.
That's a great point.
You can bring out Isaiah chapter 10, verse, where should we get?
I got to put it right after
We get, no, you get yours first, because I got another one in Matthew.
All right, real quick. We might be thinking about the same thing. Give me that. Is it 9 or I think it's in Mark 2 where they ask. They say, what is this? I think is it Mark 9 or is it 5?
What did this man do?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, that is Mark 9.
It's Mark
Yeah.
9. Yeah, that's what I was using. Gonna get the same thing.
Yeah.
You got it. Yeah, you got to put it on Matthew. Just because as soon as he said that, in my mind, like, hey, sometimes when you get regenerated, you come back here on the earth, and you might have did X, Y, Z back then. You got to pay for that. And then not only that, I was just reading the book of First Kings. You had I believe that was Jeroboam, where the Lord told him he was gonna get up with his sea line on down. So even if your fathers committed great wickedness, you can also reap that as well. And you got that classic, and what's that, Lamentations 5, where it said we're gonna reap.
I was gonna get that 5 and 7.
Go ahead.
It was first. It's John 9:1.
Okay, John 9:1. That's what we want. Yeah, John 9:1.
Kind of got it.
It's the book of John, verse 1. And as Yahushua passed by, he saw a man which was blind from his birth. And his disciples asked him, saying, Master, who did sin, this man or his parents?
Who did sin? Why would he ask that question? Right? How can we pay for the sins of our fathers? I mean, because you can still get judged, right, based off the things that your parents may have done if you have ears to hear. Right? If I become a gambler and just start gambling away all the assets, I mean, that affects my household. In turn, they're being judged as well by the hand of the Lord. Right? So again, that's the same thing that happened even on this earth, even in the ancient world. Even what happened to, similarly with Eli. You got it.
Real quick point on that. It just go to show you that our people, they had that understanding of somebody being judged from previous things. It show you that they already knew that. Mm-hmm. So, it's a good question. I'm not saying it's not a good question, but that was something our people really didn't necessarily question back then because they understood. Like, okay, then he born blind. Somebody did something. You know what I'm saying? Well, you got it.
You can get James chapter, it's like Ecclesiastes 5 and 7. Lamentations 5 and 7.
Book of Lamentations, chapter 5, and verse number 7. Our fathers have sinned and are not.
Right?
And we have,
but what?
And we have borne their iniquities.
Right? We can still carry forth their iniquities. Right? That's playing upon tables. Right? A lot of us are in captivity for what our forefathers did. I mean, that's pretty plain. I got another one. We bring out Isaiah chapter 10, verse 15.
It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 10 and verse 15. Shall the axe boast itself against him that heweth therewith?
Right, this axe really represents the nation. Right? The Syrians on one level, but on another level, Esau. Go ahead.
Or shall a saw magnify itself against him that shaketh it? As if the rod should shake itself against them that lift it up. Or as if the staff should lift up itself, as if it were no wood.
Right, so these tools, these nations that are set up to chastise Israel and to afflict us, I mean, that's their purpose. They're set up to be a tool just so we can get chastised. right? So if you still asking, well, why did judgment happen to everybody? Why did they do this? Well, it's so many different folds and levels as you can see it. It's a lot of different perspectives on why the Lord carries out his judgment and allow things to happen. What you may consider bad is actually good. It's good that we get chastised, right, on one level. But on another level, and we hate that Esau is afflicting us. So again, it's many-fold. It's quadruple-fold. You got it.
Real quick, let's get Leviticus 18 and 24. You can start it. Now I got one more after that.
It's the book of Leviticus, chapter 18, and verse number 24. Defile not yourselves in any of these things, for in all these the nations are defiled, which I cast out before you.
Now, real quick, get a little context on this. The Lord was giving out several laws right here in Leviticus, the 18th chapter. Now, the Lord is telling us, don't do all these things that's before. You got a lot of fornication going on, right? You got a lot of, well, I don't say that, I don't want to get channel flag, but you got a lot of fornication going on, a lot of adultery like that, a lot of nakedness being uncovered, so on and so forth, right? So these is things that the nations do that the Lord already forewarning us not to do. Go ahead.
Verse 25. And the land is defiled.
And the what?
And the land is defiled.
Now, the land is defiled. Now, did the land specifically commit fornication? No. The dirt commit adultery? No. The trees didn't do anything. So back to like the question said, why do the Lord like let bad things and great destruction happen amongst lands and stuff like that? It's because the inhabitants of the land is defiling the land. Right. So when you see these things happening, you gotta use a little discernment and, well, what is these people doing over there? Go ahead.
And the land is defiled. Therefore, I do visit the iniquity thereof upon it.
What the Lord say?
I do visit the iniquity thereof upon it.
The Lord said, look, I'm visiting that iniquity. So that's the answer to your question. That's why the Lord is doing this. That's why you're seeing this great destruction and woe amongst these lands. The Lord is visiting the iniquity upon it. Go ahead.
And the land itself vomited out her inhabitants.
Dang, it say the land's sick of this filthiness that's going on inside of it. Say the land is vomiting out those inhabitants, man. When you sick and something unsettled in your stomach, your body said, look, get out of me. So it's the same thing with the land. So the Lord has to bring great destruction in various ways, however you want, like you heard that one saying. It don't necessarily got to be an earthquake. It don't necessarily got to be a forest fire. The Lord could just drop a death angel or a pestilence, a plague. And a lot of people just die. And ultimately it's judgment from the Lord because nobody died innocent. Go ahead. Verse 26.
You shall therefore keep my statutes and my judgments, and shall not commit any of these abominations, neither any of your own nation, nor any stranger that sojourneth among you.
Verse 27.
For all these abominations have the men of the land do, which were before you, and the land is defiled.
28.
The land spew you not out also when you defile it, as it spewed out the nations that were before you.
And ultimately that land spewing them out is the Most High spewing them out for their wickedness. And one more, Baruch 1 and 17.
It's the book of Baruch, chapter 1, and verse number 17. For we have sinned before the Lord, and disobeyed him, and have not hearkened unto the voice of the Lord our God, to walk in the commandments that he gave us openly. Since the day that the Lord brought our forefathers out of the land of Egypt unto this present day, we have been disobedient unto the Lord our God, and we have been negligent in not hearing his voice.
So real quick, before we continue on, this is account of Baruch letting us know, like, look, our forefathers kind of went off, and look, we still doing the same thing. So when we get jammed up and the Lord chastening us, we can't really marvel at that and kind of say, well, why is this happening, Lord? Why is this destruction? Well, look, we still going off just like our forefathers was doing. So like you already done brought out, Israel kind of mess up and we bore in those sins of our fathers. We bore the iniquities of our fathers as well. And then you got Esau egging it on with all his manner of affliction, like you talk about in Zechariah 1:15. Go ahead.
Verse 20. Wherefore the evils cleave unto us, and the curse which the Lord appointed by Moses his servant, at the time that he brought our fathers out of the land of Egypt, to give us a land that floweth with milk and honey, like as it is to see this day.
Right. So, I'm gonna read it again. It said, wherefore the evils cleave unto us and the curse. So that's why we go through what we go through. That's why, to answer the question, hey, those evils gonna cleave to you if you're doing those things that's wicked and contrary to Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua. He gonna have plagues, pestilences, diseases, famine, woe, death, destruction, the sword. He gonna allow those things to happen for the iniquity. So nobody is just out here going through anything for the heck of it, you know, just for fun or just want to, like, you know, I'm bored. No, it's always a reason for it. Okay.
Bring out 2 Ezra chapter 7, verse 21. Still point 2.
It's the book of 2 Ezra, chapter 7, and verse 21. For the Most High had given straight commandment to such as came, what they should do to live, even as that came, and what they should do to observe to avoid punishment.
The Lord tells you so many different ways, straight up and down. I mean, if you want to live, keep the commandments. If you want to die, don't keep them. I mean, to avoid judgment, just don't sin. So when you see judgment happening upon you, you can't say, what was that for? That was 2 Ezra 7 and 21.
That was fire.
They say, what was that for? Why did that happen, Lord? I mean, you got to deal with it. That's why you have to examine yourself daily. Can you get 2 Corinthians 13, 1?
I was gonna say, read down to verse 23.
God.
It's the book of 2 Ezra, chapter 7, and verse 22. Nevertheless, they were not obedient unto him, but spake against him, and imagined vain things, and deceived themselves by the wicked deeds, and said of the Most High that he is not, and knew not his ways.
You know, that's a lot of older moms whose son gave up the ghost, right? Because he was in the streets and in the hood. He didn't hurt nobody. He was such a good boy. He ain't hurt nothing. He was such a nice kid. He had a good smile. He was going to school. He was a saint. He was a damn demon. He was shooting up people, selling dope, not praying, not fasting, not reading, having an evil eye, and you dare to say, well, he was a saint. He didn't hurt nobody. He hurted everybody. He hurt himself. Smoking and drinking lean, he hurt himself and you. Dishonoring you, just being a wicked man. Those are the same people that we see that give up the ghost in the news. 35-year-old Jake shot down in the street in his car. 9 times out of 10, you get shot at midnight, as they call in the world, demon hours. You went to Safari. There's no reason that you should even be out that late, just sitting in your car. You're doing something funny. Doing something real strange. Lewd. Some perversion going on. Unfortunately, judgment. There was a brother. He wasn't in the truth, but it was a brother. He got hit by a damn truck or ran into a bridge. He was in the car with an Edomite, and it happened at like 2 o'clock in the morning. What y'all doing? What y'all doing 2 a.m. in the morning? Yeah, it's just strange activities. You got it. Is there more than that?
That was it.
Well, it was a little bit more, verse 24. But his law had they despised, and denied his covenants and his statutes, had they not been faithful, and have not performed his works.
That's right. So you got to perform the works of the Lord. Yahweh Shemiyah Washai. If you're not, and you're going to taste punishment. You're going to feel it. And then you're going to acknowledge, like, oh, okay, yeah, I messed up. Yeah, that's true. So, get out, it's like Barbara Shard, 2 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 5.
It's the book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 13, verse 5. Examine yourselves, whether ye be in the faith. Prove your own selves. Know ye not your own selves?
If you don't examine yourself, you're going to find yourself getting judged more and more often, right? And you're going to think, well, why is this happening? Or you may think, well, what did I do? Well, you got to examine yourself. And to examine yourself is to also, what ties into examining yourself is reading the law. Because the only way you know you're going off is by reading. Right? When you read the account of Nebuchadnezzar and Daniel, you just got being prideful. And the Lord told him straight up, I mean, you're going to get cut down because you're prideful. And then he turned into the beast. You know, he just turned into a freak. Until it's saying Daniel, then, let's get it. I don't want to wing it. You can get Daniel, bring that out. Chapter 4. Daniel chapter
I want to say
5, verse. It's like in that. 4 and 30, 34.
It's the book of Daniel, chapter 4, and verse 34. And at the end of the days, I, Nebuchadnezzar, lift up my eyes into heaven, and my understanding returned unto me. And I bless the Most High, and I praise and honor him that liveth forever.
And that's deep because his understanding came into him after he realized where he went off. Right? He started to realize he went off, and that understanding kind of just came into him again, that wisdom. But I was going to say something. You got it.
Quick precept. To touch on that examination, Sirach 18 and 20, the classic. Baba Kashah.
All right? Because when you get judged, all you can really do is just sit there and think, like, what the hell did I do?
Yeah.
And it's up to you to determine whether you know what you did was wrong or not. That's up to you. That's what Job and his friends was talking about. We did this. No, I didn't. Or maybe he did that. Maybe I did. I don't know. That's what they do when they get judged. Like, damn, what did I do? You got it.
It's the book of Sirach, chapter 18 and verse 20. Before judgment, examine thyself, and in the day of visitation thou shalt find mercy.
Right, and that's powerful and mighty when you think about it, because we know we got the ultimate day of judgment, but the Lord could send judgment upon you at any given moment, for real. So the Lord tell us, you feel me, look, examine yourself. So the Lord kind of telling you, like, see what's going on, see what you're doing, see where your fault be at. And I'm telling you right now, giving you the chance, opportunity to kind of get it together before, he brings swift judgment upon you, or, you take that L in the official day of judgment. I want to read it again. It says, before judgment, examine thyself, and in the day of visitation. The Lord could visit you at any moment. He could say any type of death angel, whatever, any type of spirit upon you, he could visit you at any given moment. That's why you got to examine yourself so you could find that mercy, Lord willing, so the Lord don't got to jam you up. And one more, Ecclesiastes 8 and 5, the classic, because touching on what Yardan was saying about, being able to discern and know why this happened.
It's the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 8 and verse 5. Whoso keepeth the commandments shall feel no evil thing.
But that's part one right there. If you doing what you got to do, you don't really got to worry about too much coming upon you anyway. Go ahead.
And a wise man's discerning both time and judgment.
So a wise man going to be able to discern time and judgment. You're going to know, like, okay, well, that was last week. I messed up. I can see why the tire flat now. Yeah, it kind of makes sense. I did kind of, okay. And then, you take it to the chin like a man, because, you nevertheless, you was wrong. You feel me? And you take the rebuke from the Lord and you humble down and keep striving to be mightier and be better moving forward. So you got to understand, time, a wise man's heart is going to discern time and judgment. Because some stuff, the Lord could pull a Job. That wasn't necessarily judgment. It just out of nowhere, Job woke up and his whole world damn fell apart. The Lord wanted to put him through that fire. He wanted to try him. Satan kind of said, well, no, he ain't rocking like that with you. The Most High said, look, no, go ahead. Do what you got to do. I bet you be wrong. Now you do think Job knew that was going to happen. You think Job would, dang, man, I ain't go off the other week, man. Say, man, I'm perfect. Not that he deemed himself perfect in that way, but it say he was a perfect man. So he wasn't just walking around just freaking off, messing up on a daily for the Lord to just send swift judgment upon him. Boy, it was everywhere. Ruin his household. You know what I'm saying?
That's right. And that kind of segues into the next part of this question, right? Because the first part we pretty much answered, right? You got to hold yourself accountable and know what you did wrong. That's why you're getting judged, because sometimes you may not. But before we do, let's get 1 Samuel chapter 3, verse 19. Right, touching on the point of taking it to the chin. You got to deal with it.
Yeah.
It's a good example of dealing with it.
You said 19?
1 Samuel chapter 3, verse 19.
Okay. So book of 1 Samuel chapter 3 and verse 19. And Samuel grew, and the Lord was with him, and did let none of his words fall to the ground.
Go ahead.
Verse 20. And all Israel from Dan to even to Beersheba knew that Samuel was established to be a prophet of the Lord.
You in the right chapter? Let's see.
You said 3:19.
I said 3.
I appreciate that.
Bear with me. You can get it while I get this.
Let's get 1 Samuel chapter 12, and I want you to start at about 19, I want to say.
This book of 1 Samuel chapter 12 and verse 19.
Right?
And all the people said unto Samuel, Pray for thy servants unto the Lord thy God, that we die not. For we have added unto all of our sins this evil to ask us a king.
Right, so when you because we're men, we in this flesh, we do mess up, but you don't want to add a whole bunch of more wickedness to the wickedness that you already doing. Because then when super judgment come upon you, now you super marveled and perplexed and befuddled in your mind. Well, brother, look, you've been going extremely the hell off, man. right? So when you is going through these things, you got to be able to discern time and judgment. Just to let me back up Ecclesiastes 8:5 one more time. Go ahead.
Verse 20. And Samuel said unto the people, Fear not, ye have done all this wickedness, yet turn not aside from following the Lord, but serve the Lord with all your heart.
Right. So even when you is going up, the Lord always give you that option, man. Look, get it together. Get it together. Samuel told them, I get what y'all saying, but look, hey, whatever you do, don't turn away from the Most High. That's the last thing you want to do. Y'all going off, hey, but you better off getting it together and turning back to the Lord and getting back on fire and keep your head up in this thing. Because when you keep reading, he told them, because don't turn aside to vain and unprofitable things, because that's not going to deliver you. What you got?
Right. It was 1 Samuel 3:18.
I thought that's what it was.
It's one of my favorite precepts.
God.
It's the book of 1 Samuel chapter 3 and verse 18. And Samuel told him every whit, and hid nothing from him. And he said, It is the Lord. Let him do what seemeth him good.
How often do you say that when you get judged? Was the Lord let him do what seemed good to him? Right, let it be good. Right? Usually when you get judged, you even complain further.
Yeah.
You kind of read about that in Job, complaining further. You got to deal with it. And that's why, I try to get in my mindset whenever I get judged. I tell myself, well, look, it's nothing I don't deserve. It's facts. There's nothing you don't deserve.
That's fact.
If you get a flat tire, if you broke your leg, you got fired, you can't say I didn't deserve it. Brother, you did so much bloody sin in the eyes of God. I mean, it's only right for you to think you're going to get judged.
Yeah.
Not to say you should live in fear of getting judged, right, just over everything. But the point of the matter is, damn, you just got to accept it and deal with it. Let me get one more. So, right, 39 and 26. It's like, 28.
It's the book of Sirach, chapter 39 and verse number 28. There be spirits that are creative of vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. In the time of destruction they pour out their force, and appease the wrath of him that made them.
Right?
Fire and hail, famine and death, all these were created for vengeance.
Created for what?
Created for vengeance.
Created for vengeance. Fire and hell, famine and death. Right? As you continue to read on, the teeth of wild beasts and scorpions and serpents, and the sword punishing the wicked to destruction. Key word, the wicked to destruction. Right? So if you wicked, you're going to be destroyed. And it says in verse 31, they shall rejoice in his commandment as they shall be ready upon earth when need is. And where their time is come, they shall not transgress his word, the Most High's word. Yahweh shall. So if you find yourself sick, you might have got judged.
Yeah.
Or you got to remember on another level, you're just not taking care of your body. That's why you got to be circumspect and examine yourself to figure out whether this is true judgment or is this just me just being a fool.
Right.
Right? Oh, my tire's popped. Brother, you keep running over nails. That's your fault. You're not being circumspect while you drive. You get in car accidents. Brother, you texting all the time while you drive. That's why you get in car accidents.
Yeah.
Right?
Real quick, I want you to read, I'll read it, verse 33. It says, all the works of the Lord are good, and he will give every needful thing in due season, so that a man cannot say this is worse than that. For in time, they shall all be well approved. So I just wanted to bring that up because a lot of people, well, why would God do that? And that's not right. And they want to say, look, all the works of the Lord is good. He gonna get everything and need every needful thing in season. If it's time for judgment, it's time for judgment. If it's time for death, it's time for death. If it's time for mercy, it's time for mercy. So a lot of people, they like to only look at the so-called bad aspect of things and ask, well, why this and why that? Well, look, it was needful for this man to die because he's a murderer. And the Lord, what he did is good. And you can't be mad at the Most High for that, man. He's a murderer. He on his 8th body, like Jake said. His 8th body. The Most High said, look,
Bloodthirst.
all the works of the Lord are good, and he will give every needful thing in due season. It was due season, okay? You want the man to stay alive and keep killing people? That's how you know. As humans, man, people's mind don't be right. They rather say, you know, look, he was the man, he was feeding the block. Brother, he's killed 9 of y'all. If it was up to Jake, he'd stay alive and keep killing more. But the Most High say, look, I know it's really good. I know it's needful. This person got to go. All right? So that's how it be. Or it may be a wicked Edomite doing lewdness in the deep, deep dark. Right? And the Most High make him get sick because he keep conjuring up spirits amongst the community. Demons. So that's how the Most High know what he doing. You got to relax. Relax, man. You know, they got a folly saying in the word. They say Jesus grabbed the wheel.
Oh my goodness.
Right? It's kind of folly, you know, but they say Jesus grabbed the wheel. But in all reality, the Most High really got the wheel. He gonna steer wherever he need to be steered. So you gotta chill and know that the Most High doing everything for a reason. He know what he doing.
Yeah, that's why Samuel said, hey, if it seemeth good unto him, so shall it be.
Yeah, so shall it be.
All praises. So you get judged, next time you get judged for something you did, just say all praises. just be humble, say the water, Lord. Salaki. Yeah, just be sincere about it. Because you went off.
29.
I don't know, ribs, get mad at me. Brother, maybe because you're not reading enough with the household. Or maybe because whatever the case is, right? Remember, I mean, it's plain. We can only go over it so many times. You can get Isaiah 57.
Oh, yeah.
57 and what verse?
Verse 1.
It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 57, verse 1. And it reads, "The righteous perisheth, and no man layeth it to heart.
Right?
And merciful men are taken away, none considering that the righteous is taken away from the evil to come."
Right, a lot of the righteous are taken away from the evil that is to come. And the Lord can very well do that. Right, so when certain people may give up the ghost, it's because the Most High may not want them to endure any longer upon this wicked foul land. Right? I mean, we kind of see a similar thing with Enoch. Right? He was taken up. He didn't die, but that's why I say similar. Right?
Yep.
He was taken up because if he was here any longer, he may have died in a gruesome death because of the wickedness of the land. There's no telling. But all we do know is, according to this verse, it's like the one thing we know is, according to this verse, the Most High may remove people off this land just to alleviate themselves from the impending or other wicked acts that may fall upon them. So, you know, and that's still, just because it's easy to read doesn't mean it's easy to comprehend. Because once it happens, you're not going to be thinking, oh yeah, Isaiah 57. You're still going to feel it too. Like, dang, why'd they go? Was they wicked? Why did they get judged? Jake think every judgment is just, oh, they was wicked. A lot of the times they are, but not every single damn judgment, right? Some judgments the Lord just wanted to remove them from off this earth because he don't want them to be here anymore. He wants them to have peace.
Real quick, I ain't gonna grab it, but in Wisdom of Solomon, the 4th chapter, 10 on down, talk about that about Enoch. The Lord said that, you know, he needed to be speedily taken away so the wickedness won't alter his understanding and deceit beguile his soul. So like the brother said, you know, just laying back off Isaiah 57, it ain't always, you know, little Dre from the block that got 8 bodies. You know, it ain't that. Sometimes it may be that elder brother in the truth, man. And his calling and election is made short. And the Most High say, look, it's enough, King. You fought enough. I got you from here. It just be like that sometimes. The righteous, they taken away. They get up out this thing. And the Lord do that. Just read that in 2 Kings, the 2nd chapter. Elijah got up out this thing, man. Lord say, look, come on, it's time. And Elisha finished this thing up.
That's right. So you may be asking or wondering, you know, why does the Lord allow certain things to happen? I mean, now we know. A lot of the times it's your judgment. Other times it may be because the Lord doesn't want them on his land anymore.
Yep.
Other times it's you. Because you just, you know, living a life of folly.
Yeah.
Right? If you living like a fool, you're going to reap the benefit. It's like you're going to reap what you sow.
That's right.
The same thing that happened to Abigail, and it's like it to Nabal.
Yep.
Who's David? Who's he? Who's this guy?
Yeah.
All right, well, you're going to taste your words, all right? So, Khan. Anything else you want to add to that?
That's it.
So, you know, we got a pretty good, solid understanding through the Spirit of why the Lord allows certain judgments, sicknesses, and things of that nature to happen. Right? And the Lord may give you a sickness just to kind of make you stronger. Oh yeah, I know what I wanted. Sirach 2 and 1.
It's the book of Sirach, chapter 2 and verse 1. "My son, If thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul from temptation.
Go ahead.
Set thy heart aright, and constantly endure.
What it say?
Set thy heart aright, and constantly endure.
Because we know it's going to be times where we're going to get chastised.
Yep.
In serving the Lord. That's why you have to constantly endure. We go. Lord, keep it. You gotta right? Muhammad Ali didn't become one of the greatest by not getting hit. He became the greatest by getting hit a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you get hit, first time, second time, it hurt a little. Let's be honest. It hurt. It hurt like hell.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you one thing, it ain't gonna hurt the 100th time like it did the first.
Get adapted to that.
Yeah, you get adapted. And that's a good word, adapt. I'm gonna Google it real quick. Let me get it real quick. It's adapt. Make something suitable for a new use or purpose. To modify. Become adjusted to new conditions. Right? And you gotta ask yourself, when new conditions may fall upon you, are you adjusting? Or are you modifying your spirit? Are you adjusting your work week? Or your study week? Whatever the case, whatever you may need to modify, doing that, just to kind of endure through the spirit. Because every day is going to be a battle. Kadar was just talking about it. You just gotta wake up. You just gotta get up. Kind of endure this thing. Go through the day. It's a mind thing too. You got it.
Real quick, just to let me back off that, let's get Sirach 4 and verse 16. Like the brother said, sometimes, you know, the Lord, he can just put you through stuff to strengthen you. He may let that come upon you to build your faith, to build your strength, to build your confidence in him, your courage. Go ahead.
It's the book of Sirach, chapter 4 and verse 16. If a man commit himself unto her, he shall inherit her, and his generation shall hold her in possession.
Right, you wanted to commit yourself to wisdom. Go ahead.
Verse 17. At the first she will walk with him by crooked ways, and bring fear and dread upon him, and torment him with her discipline, until she may trust his soul and try him by her laws.
Right, so even when it comes to obtaining wisdom, hey, she gonna put you through the ringer, man. Right, wisdom is pure, she's precious, she's holy, she undefiled. You can't just get that, you know, how you could pick up a damn shrag off the block, man. No, this is wisdom we talking about. So even wisdom will put you through the ringer. She put you through a few hula hoops, man. Right? She gonna put you through it. She gonna try. You gonna go through that fire. You gotta set your heart right and constantly endure. She gonna put you in a lot of situations. She gonna kind of, you know, see where your discernment at. You know, she may put you in a situation where you got red pill, blue pill type deal. You go to the left, you know, you may get that pleasure for a season, but it's wicked. You go to the right, you might not get that pleasure, but you're gonna increase in knowledge. What you gonna choose? And you sitting there perplexed in your mind, befuddled, you know, you going through the heat of the moment, the temptation, what you gonna do? And wisdom will do that to you. But, go ahead.
Verse 18. Then she returned straightway unto him, and comfort him, and show him her secrets.
Right, and then once you make it through that fiery trial, like Sirach 2 say, if you set your heart right and constantly endure, then you'll receive wisdom at your own heart's desire. So when the Lord put people through certain things, even us ourselves as men of the Lord, hey, sometimes when you going through it, and you literally might not know why. Like, dang, man, look, I've been on fire, so it can't be good. I ain't really go off, so man, that's true. Hey, you may just be getting tried, just thrown in that fire to get comforted later on if you endure.
Mm-hmm. When you read in the prayer to Azariah, what's the first thing he said? You mind getting that about patrol? 1 and 1.
Prayer Azariah, chapter 1 and verse 1. And they walked in the midst of the fire, praising the Most High.
What they do?
Praising the Most High.
They walk in that fire, praising the Lord. That's why when you wake up in the morning, you gotta praise the Lord. You're about to walk in some fire. Trust me. There's gonna be some type of fire. Work, Eve,
Every day.
your flesh, your thoughts, your spirit. That's walking in a fire every day. That's why you gotta pray before the Lord. Right? First thing in the morning. But with that, we'll move on to the next question. And that question is, do we have free will? Is free will, according to the Bible, who controls what? What's happening? Can you get Sirach chapter 18, verse 1? So a lot of Christians ask this, and they sincerely think that we have free will. But, you know, we're going to break it down through the Spirit.
It's the book of Sirach, chapter 18 and verse 1. He that liveth forever created all things in general. The Lord only is righteous, and there is none other but he. Who governed the world with the palm of his hand?
Who what?
Who governed the world with the palm of his hand?
Who would this word govern?
And all things obey his will.
What is it?
And all things obey his will.
So if it's his will for you to be the elect, you're going to be the elect. That's his will, not yours. You can't, on a carnal level, you can't make yourself the elect. And I'm going to use that terminology of carnal and spiritual level, because there is levels in this thing. We're going to explain, right? But the word govern means to rule, to control, to be in power over, to reign over, and be in charge of. So if the Lord is in charge of the world, by default, he's in charge of your soul and your spirit. And he has the ability to navigate your life and direct it. You can bring out Proverbs chapter 21, verse 1. The same way he setteth up kings, and he giveth the charge unto them, whoever may please, I mean, so shall it be.
It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 21 and verse 1. The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord. As the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he wills.
And that's why Nebuchadnezzar was getting judged, because he couldn't perceive that the Lord set him up on high. He couldn't see it. And sometimes, as a man, a mortal man, you may think, yeah, that's me. I'm him. That's what Jake said, I am him. That's all me. That's all me. No, it's not. Right? It's not. Everything's of the Lord. That's why the world is in his hand, and he governs the world. He governs it. He controls the world and you and the actions and the seas and the elements and the beast and knowledge. And that's beautiful. You got it. And I got some precepts after you.
Quick precept, Isaiah chapter 63, 17.
You took my verse. That's okay.
So look at Isaiah chapter 63 and verse 17. O Lord, why hast thou made us to err from thy ways?
And again, this is where this terminology comes in. Because read that again. I'm sure. Go on.
O
You make the
Lord,
point first.
why hast thou made us to err from thy ways?
Because even when you look at the account of Pharaoh in Exodus, like he didn't have a choice to let them go. And the Lord made his heart, he hardened his heart, so he wouldn't let them go. So even like on a level, like we don't really have free will, but we have that illusion of choice sometimes.
That's right. You can bring out Ecclesiasticus chapter 15, verse 12. Somebody asked me this one time and said, well, the Bible contradicts itself.
It's the book of Sirach, chapter 15 and verse 12. Say not thou, he hath caused me to err, but he hath no need of the simple man.
Wait a minute, but read Isaiah 63 and 17. Wow, read. Why hast thou made us to err? So which is it? Did the Lord make us to err? Or can we not say that the Lord made us to err? The brothers know? I want to ask brothers. The brothers know? Which one is it?
He made us to err.
He made us to err?
That's the question.
I mean, but it say in Ecclesiastes 5 and 12, say not thou, he hath caused you to err.
On a carnal level,
My bad.
Well, I want to know, man. What is it?
Go ahead.
It is he made us upright, but what I'm saying, in another sense, he sought out to make individuals
the question is,
choose it to choose it to do it. In a certain sense. And then at the end of the day, he still made us do it. Because man's going to the Lord.
Okay. What you say?
the question was, did the Lord make us to err?
Yeah. Or did he make us to err? Right? Can we say he made us to err? Or can I say, well, the Lord said, say not thou, he hath caused me to err? Which one can I say?
I would say, you feel me, like, when you have Satan, he's the tempter, and we the one that goes into the temptation. So it's ultimately, on the one focus, us, we going into the sin, we getting tempted by Satan. And Satan is sent from us out. So I think it's a carnal level and a spiritual level to it.
Pretty much.
To let me back up what he's saying, I would go to James 1 and 12 on down, where he's saying, like, I'm just read it. Blessed is the man that endureth temptation, for when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life which the Lord hath promised to them that love him. Let no man say when he is tempted, I am tempted of God. For God cannot be tempted with evil, neither tempteth he any man. But every man is tempted when he is drawn away of his own lust. So that's kind of what the brother was saying when I brought this out, because it's like, say not that God made me the heir, right? So because he didn't, you was just drawn away with your own lust.
And that's one of the perfect precepts. You got it. You got your point.
Yeah, I would pretty much agree with what Kadar pretty much said, because like at the end of the day, Yahushua is there to mediate for us. You know, if, you know, God forbid, our brother goes off, so on and so forth, at the end of the day, God, the Most High, is not tempting you. You know, it's really just the spirit that's on you. So there is a carnal and spiritual sense in regards to that topic. But at the end of the day, I mean, I wouldn't just say that, you know, the Most High is making you err.
Yeah. Verse
Brother, no.
verse 20 is within that same chapter, the cut. It says, he has commanded no man to do wickedly, neither have he given any man license to sin.
So that's why it's really just a deep parable when you know, really get into it.
Just like it's like with like man too, they had to take accountability for what they did. Just like how Adam, he was designed to go off. Like the Lord planted that evil seed within him, but he still got to take accountability for what he did. I mean, that's just like his lot.
Quick point, like the reason that you brought up, Sarah 15 and 12, you really can't blame it on the Most High. You feel me? And try to justify yourself. Like that's really off for real. Well, the Lord made me do it, so what you gonna say, bro? Like you can't really justify it and throw the blame on the Lord. You gotta take accountability. And that second Ezra 4:30, where the Bible just mentioned that evil seed was sown in Adam. You know what I'm saying? But nevertheless, you gotta take accountability because nobody made him or really forced him to follow along with Eve.
God,
It's a spiritual kind of thing at the same time.
that's I'm gonna get into it.
That's like when you read 1 Kings 22 and 19, there's a council in the heavens. It said, who shall cause Ahab to believe a lie? The Lord made Ahab believe a lie. At the end of the day, the Lord has these counsels and things set up from the beginning for things that happen upon man. There is nothing at all for Ahab to do to avoid that judgment. There was nothing he could do. So at the end of the day, on a spiritual level, on a spiritual understanding perspective, the Lord makes everything happen. And there's nothing you can do about it. And as the brother may have mentioned, he does give us the illusion of so-called free will, right? Because I have the choice to, on a carnal level, I have a choice to get up and walk over there, right? But on a spiritual level, right, beyond this earthly realm, the Lord already predestined me to walk up and go over there. That's I'm a Google perspective and the other word, perception. That's another one too. But you can get John 3 and 12.
Aspect.
John 3 and 12, I'm sure.
It's the book of John, chapter 3, and verse number 12. If I have told you earthly things, and you believe not, how shall you believe if I tell you heavenly things?
Right, so even the Lord is expounding that there's levels to this thing. Right, you got earthly ways to explain certain parables and things of that nature. And then you got spiritual things. It's like a spiritual, on a spiritual level and spiritual plane, there's certain things that has to be understood a certain way. Right? I was gonna get a precept.
I got you.
Let me Google perspective. Right, perspective. A particular attitude toward or way regarding something, a point of view. So there's different perspectives that you can view man on this earth, right? I can see on a spiritual level, like, damn, this brother wicked. But I can also see on a carnal level the reasons why this man may be wicked. Because he's not reading, he's not studying, he's not fasting. Through my carnal perspective, through the eyes of man, even as it says in Job, you know, our judgment is much more different than the Lord's.
Something else I was gonna say. Somebody's about to say something?
Yeah, I agree so. Brothers can do their points.
I had a quick precept.
Kinda got it.
You go first.
Deuteronomy chapter 30, verse 19. So let me back off that illusion of free will, but on a spiritual level, like the Most High, He already predestinated everything from the foundation of the world. It's like a movie, for lack of a better term. Like everybody has their roles, they can't go outside the boundaries of their roles. But read that.
It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 30, and verse 19. I call heaven and earth to record this day against you, that I have set before you life and death, blessing and cursing. Therefore choose life, that both thou and thy seed may live.
So the Lord gave us this choice. But, you know, it's certain man that was just set up to be wicked. It's like Esau, just like Cain. They was meant to live in that darkness forever. And that's just like the roads that the Lord had assigned for, you know, certain people. For like that.
And I'm gonna simplify it for everybody and for those who may be listening, right? Another way to see it is that on a carnal level, right, you can personify or see the Lord as the architect, or as the architect. The architect, his role and duty is to make the blueprint, build the house, or it's like on paper, design the house, design X, Y, and Z, how it's gonna look. And the role of the foreman is to execute the architecture's vision. So it's already on paper what's going to be done. But once it's executed, I mean, the wheel's already in motion. There's nothing you can do about it. You better say something?
Yeah, I got precept. Pretty much timed it with logic, but I believe you get Proverbs, I want to say 16 and 4.
It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 16, verse 4. The Lord hath made all things for himself, yea, even the wicked for the day of evil.
That's right. Some men are just born to be wicked, just to be preserved for the day of evil. Everybody has their purpose and their due lot, right? But we don't know our lot. That's the thing. We just don't know our lot. And that's when we get that idea and the illusion of free will, right? Because we think and we believe that if I do this, then this will happen. And that's where hope comes into play, right? That's why you have to have hope in this thing. And that's why I've actually heard brothers say, well, look, if everything's already determined and said and done, why do I have to keep the commandments if I'm going to be in the kingdom of heaven? Through regeneration. What's the point of keeping the commandments? Yeah, I mean, that's a wicked thought to have, because one, you're going to, I mean, that's just plain upon tables. If you want to die twice, I mean, you can have that life. Yeah, it's nuts. You're suicidal. You're a maniac, right? I'd rather do my best and do my diligence to keep the commandments and have hope that I make it, right? Because nobody likes the judgment. Nobody likes feeling that pain. And the Lord can make that judgment and pain last for a year or a week, just for you when he returns.
I just got a precept, final precept on this topic. It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 19, verse 21. For there are many devices in a man's heart. Nevertheless, the counsel of the Lord shall stand.
Beautiful precept. That's plain upon tables. Right? On a carnal level, you may have ideas, visions, and dreams and hopes. But on a spiritual level, it's up to the Lord if he wants that to happen. Even when you read the scriptures, I'm going to give an account. Get the book of Judges. I just thought about it. Judges chapter 13. It's kind of deep.
Yeah.
Judges chapter 13, verse where it says his parents didn't know that it was of the Lord. And they was mad. Let me see. It was when it was mad that was, I was 13. Oh no, it's like it might have been 14. Well,
It's 13 and 16. Wait.
13 and 16?
They knew not that he was an angel of the Lord.
No, it was when he was about to marry that heathen. He wanted that woman.
That's well, it is.
He wanted Delilah.
Like which one?
Yeah, Samson.
Yeah.
Oh, when you wanted that harlot?
Yeah, his parents was vexed.
That's just,
There is one in 14 too.
Yeah,
still a comes.
I may have to find it. But I like how it's worded and how it's mentioned. That on a carnal level, they was upset, fearing like, why would he do this? What's going on? But on a spiritual level, it was already planned out why this was going to happen. Right? It was already understood of the Lord why he's doing this.
I was gonna say 14 and 4. Really starting at verse.
Yeah, that's it. That's what I wanted. Is this it? Yeah, 14 and 4.
Yeah.
I started verse 3.
See that?
This Judges 14 and 3. Then his father and his mother said unto him, is there never a woman among the daughters of thy brethren, or among all my people, that thou goest to take a wife of the uncircumcised Philistines, And Samson said to his father, "Get her from me, for she pleaseth me." After all of that was said, he said, "Just give it to me. She pleaseth me."
She pleased me well.
But his father and his mother knew not it was of the Lord. So that's why, when a lot of things may happen in your life, it's hard, sometimes it's hard to do, but you gotta remember it's of the Lord, man's goings. Right? Again, it's one of those accounts where it's easy to read, but hard to comprehend. You got 4 flat tires and you got fired from the job. Brother's not gonna think in that moment it was of the Lord. You're gonna be pretty pissed off.
Yeah.
That's the first thought. You're gonna be mad as hell. The hell's going on? You're gonna be vexed. Yeah, you feel like the Lord just messing with you. But at the end of the day, it's all of the Lord. And then at the end, you realize, oh, I see why the Lord did that. Dang, that's crazy. He just delivered me from this situation and that. That's why I got fired, because the plant was going to blow up. Dang. So it always, that's man for you. That's Jake, that's us. But reading on. But his father and his mother knew not that it was of the Lord that he sought an occasion against the Philistines. For at that time, the Philistines had dominion over Israel. Right? His parents didn't know the true motives and knew that it was bigger things happening in place.
I was gonna say, would you also equate that to Acts the 1st chapter when it came to picking the 12 apostles on Matthias? Because they, on a carnal level, they knew that he was supposed to go off even according to prophecy. But what did they do? They end up asking the Lord later on, like, look, you know of the hearts of men at this time. So, who you gonna pick so you can go with us? So, necessary. And really, they could have chose a man themselves on a carnal level. But spiritually, they just put their trust in the Lord and cast lots for it.
That's Proverbs 16 and 33. The lot is cast into the lap, but the whole disposing thereof is of the Lord. So you may say, well, I have my lot and my vision. I have my destiny, my fate. But it's really of the Lord at the end of the day. And it's saying in Wisdom of Solomon, I believe the 3rd chapter, or it's 9 and 15, that man, we guess all right. We only guess at the things that we're doing.
Hardly guess
Right. How we get this job? Well, Lord willing, brother. I want to be a firefighter, but Lord willing, not. Yeah, that's exactly why you got to save, because it's the Lord's will and not your will. So even on a carnal level, we still perceive and understand at the end of the day, the Lord has governance over our body, soul, and this world. We have no true will. We can only hope and guess that we can do this. Like it say in 2 Chronicles, you had Jeroboam, or I believe it was Jeroboam. He wanted to go to Tarshish. He had hopes and visions to go to Tarshish, and the Lord the boats. He thought, hey, you think you want to do something? Yeah, I'm about to go to the city. I'm about to touch the city tonight. We're about to test it. And then get flat tires. So you're not going, huh? You got another issue to handle. Yeah, you got to say Lord willing. Let's bring out that account in James chapter 4. James chapter 4, verse 13.
It's book of James chapter 4 and verse 13. Go to now ye that say today or tomorrow, we will go into such a city and continue there a year and buy and sell and get gain.
Go ahead.
Whereas ye know not what shall be on tomorrow. But what is your life?
What is your life? Who are you? Who the hell are you, man? Go ahead.
It is even a vapor that appeareth for a little time and then vanisheth away. For that ye ought to say, if the Lord will, we shall live and do this or that.
And if it be of the Lord will, I get this job. If it be of the Lord will, I get married. Right? You got to say if it be of the Lord's will. Or else it's folly. Right? Because now you're just boasting in yourself, and what you may say, it's like whatever you think is going to happen. That's what Jake said. You got to think it into existence.
Yeah.
I manifested this. You manifested a damn thing, God. Right? You a fool. That's why even Paul said the Holy Spirit prevented us. He's always acknowledging everything is of the Lord. The Holy prevented us. It's like the Holy Spirit prevented us from seeing you today.
Free will don't exist as well, because it's consequences for certain things, for certain actions that you do. You can't just do whatever you want to do, because it's judgments for it. You can't just sin willfully and not be judged. Like, if you have free will, you would be able to escape that judgment.
Yeah.
Right.
Free will implies, like the brother simply said, there's no, free will implies no judgment. Free will implies you won't get chastised for the things that you do. But every act, even Esau said, every action has a reaction, right? That's even in their so-called laws. So you can't do anything without judgment or anything happening. It's not a video game. In a video game, you do whatever you want without no judgment for real. You do whatever you want. Nobody's going to judge you for real, even in Grand Theft Auto. You can hide and duck away to the police. They just hide off.
No judgment.
Yeah, no judgment. That's wicked.
That's crazy. I ain't know.
You got a point?
The scripture, if they sitting there saying that we got free will, did Jesus have free will?
Mm-hmm.
John 5:30.
Because you gotta ask yourself that, because even Christ knew that he didn't have free will when you read John chapter 6 and verse 36.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's 36 to 38. He said he was doing his father's will.
Yep.
John 5:32.
There's another one in the second chapter, right? Yeah, I do with my father's business.
That's
Luke 2 and 42.
Yep.
He asked the Most High to take that yoke from him if it was his will.
Mm-hmm. You gotta, I mean, nobody's gonna know what their will is.
Also, you just don't wake up and just become a murderer. Like, you can't just I want to just go kill people today. Even if it's your will, like, it's the Most High that's gonna put that thought in you to go do that. On a spiritual
What you
level.
say?
I was gonna say, even Cain, like, the Lord said, well, you ain't gotta give it. The Lord, like, gave Cain the option. And
Yeah.
the spirit still was off, because he was programmed to be off.
Yep. The Lord's going to give you that illusion of so-called free will. And that's hard and sad for people to kind of, for brothers to fathom. Because then that means that they don't know what's their lot. They think they can control their lot. You can't control your lot. You can't do it. Yeah, they want to know every damn thing. You don't got to know everything. It's okay.
You can't be 5 steps ahead.
Yeah.
You can't be 5 steps ahead.
Yeah, you can't be 5 steps ahead of the Lord.
Natural man.
See that? So, God. You know, man, to answer the question in short, right? Of course, provided precepts and accounts. Man does not have free will. Forget about it. You do not have free will. You have the illusion of options, but it's not free will. That's like me watching a movie and saying, well, I hope the character do this. It ain't gonna happen.
You gotta deal with it.
Yeah, I can't hope and put faith that this character's gonna do something. It's scripted. It's a script.
Look, Jake always say that like, he should have went this way, he should have went that. Why would you do that? That's dumb. Well, brother, it's a movie. He been scripted to do what he's doing.
Yeah.
You can't do nothing about it. What you gonna, all he can say is, well, I don't want to play this role. On a carnal level, you can tell the director that, but the Most High, you can't tell him what you don't want to do.
Right.
You already been programmed to do what he wants you to do.
And that's why they're called directors. They direct people in a position, in a role, what to do, and they execute it.
Yeah.
Literally, when directors are hands-on with the actors, they say, you gotta do this, you gotta show more emotions. And they say, okay, and they do it. And the Lord did that with you, even in your sleep. Like it said in Job 33.
Seal of your instruction.
Let's bring that out real quick. Job chapter 33 and verse 24.
You got a point?
It's like, yeah, you can jump down.
Yeah, I heard a lot
Somebody-
of this. I ain't breathing.
Yeah, it is a lot.
I ain't breathing. I have so many. Brothers edified though.
Wait, brother got a point?
Yeah, I
You
got
got
a
point.
Yeah, you bring up your point.
Certain people, they got like certain gifts. Another man, he ain't got that gift. Like even like certain people like raising up against Moses or being rebellious, like they was trying to achieve like that greatness as, certain leaders, but it wasn't their lot.
Yeah.
So the Lord cut them down. So how can you have free will if you can't even go about your own way to like establish things?
Mhm.
Preeminent.
Yeah, that's what happened in Maccabees. You had Azariah and the other man. They said, let us get us a
Get
name.
a name.
You can't get yourself anything. That's why I say what it's saying, Sirach 11 and 14. Right? Prosperity, death, life, riches. It all comes from God.
Yeah.
Jake said, I did it. It's on me. I worked my butt off. Where was God when this happened? That's why I say a fool saith in his heart, there is no God.
I got out the mud.
You gotta be a damn dummy to say, a damn dummy to get rich and say, well, I did it all. You know how prideful that is? You know how many factors and variables there are in life for you to just say that you did it all by yourself? What's that?
Oh, that's how you know man is prideful to even say you got free will. It's like the ability to make choices and decisions without being constrained by internal forces.
Damn.
By eternal force.
Damn.
That's why we Google
The
govern,
Lord way.
because that's the opposite of govern.
Can't control me.
Yeah. That's hard.
That is literally the opposite of govern. By that definition, the Lord doesn't govern us.
He just,
We're on our own.
yeah, he just watching us. He just there,
He's just watching.
chilling.
And that's what Esau said in his mind. The Lord's just watching this, watching the world burn.
That's fine.
And they gonna burn it.
I mean, on one level, he is.
That's why Esau think he gonna fight against the Lord.
Yep.
Yep, that pride.
God, I had the precept, Deuteronomy 30:1.
God, Deuteronomy chapter 30, verse 1. Then we'll move on to the next question.
It's the book of Deuteronomy chapter 30 and verse 1. And it shall come to pass, when all these things are come upon thee, the blessing and the curse which I have set before thee, that thou shalt call them to mind among all the nations, whither the Lord thy God hath driven thee.
God, so the point is just being made that this is after Moses lets us what we know if we broke the commandments and if the curses will come upon them. But the Lord still told us it's gonna happen anyway. Like,
Yep.
already have it written out. So he even told us, y'all can't help me.
Predestination.
That's a good point.
Nothing
Yep.
y'all can do about it.
You
And
can't.
then
That's like
you got that in Proverbs to link up with James earlier, Proverbs 27:1. You can't boast yourself for tomorrow because you don't even know what a day gonna bring forth. And that link up with Job where you about to pull out, you feel me? The Lord seal your instructions. So you could literally plan out, I've done this before. Like, I'm gonna do X, Y, and Z tomorrow. And none of it happened. I said, bro, what?
I'd be mad.
And it just wasn't the Lord will, you know what I'm saying? It just didn't go the way I thought it was gonna go.
And me and my aunt was talking about it. He said he made a to-do list. He showed me he had Lord willing on his top. I said, damn, all praises.
You gotta put
All praises.
You got to.
He got some precepts.
And then John 5:32, because a lot of the people that claim this whole free will thing, they say they Christians and stuff like that. But I mean, he even said, look, I don't even do my own will. So are y'all really Christians? Are y'all really following Christ for real? Or are y'all winging it?
They don't know what's going on.
Right? And then I want to get that account too, and that's Acts the 16th chapter, where it talk about how the Spirit suffered them not. It might be like 16 and 13, I think.
Yeah, and they told Simon, this is not your lot. He thought that was his lot. He thought.
He tried to buy the Spirit. He tried to buy the Spirit.
Money. He said,
Yeah.
so what's this power you got?
Yeah, he said power.
It's like, can I buy this?
Hey, Peter got on him too. Peter rebuked him sharply.
For real.
He said, you don't want this for real.
Bro started believing after that too.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why though, because he's doing it in a deceitful heart. You're not
Yeah,
trying to get
he
the
wasn't
power of the
sincere.
Lord, but the Lord, you're trying to get the power to see the bewitching people.
Yeah, he's already bewitching the people when you read it.
Yeah, he was in the sorcery. He was a sorcerer before then.
Want to bewitch more.
He came out of that, seeing how the Spirit worked, and wanted to get back in it.
Yeah, that's brothers in his truth. They said, oh, they got power. They got this. They be doing that. Let me get in that thing.
They got
Yeah.
influence.
It's like the movie coming out with Clarence.
Yep.
You got more than one wife. Wow.
You got the precept.
Yeah, it's verse 6.
You got a point.
Acts 16 and 6.
Brother Simeon,
All right, we may not touch on everything, but we got to get through these questions. You got it.
I wasn't gonna be there. Y'all put me in Job.
Yeah, I was going to get Job 33 15, but that's fine. That's playing upon tables. He's still at the instruction upon a night's sleep.
This is the book of Acts, chapter 16 and verse 6. Now when they had gone throughout Phrygia,
Nigerians?
in the region of Galatia, and they were forbidden of the Holy Spirit to preach the word in Asia.
You go ahead, verse 7.
After they were come into Mysia, they assayed to go into Bithynia, but the Spirit suffered them not.
Right, so they had in their mind what they wanted to go do, but the Spirit, Most I said, nah. I mean, that's plain. Here we got a perfect account. Men came in with their mind with the next step they wanted to do. We're going to head to Bithynia, y'all. Come on. And the Spirit kind of said, no, you're not. You can't do that. You know what I'm saying? So that's plain for real, man. It was a whole bunch more. Jeremiah 10 and 23.
Yeah.
Classic.
Proverbs 16 and 9.
Yeah. It's so many.
Proverbs 20 and 24.
Yeah, the other one in Acts 21, and I believe it's 16 through 17. It said, well, let the Lord will be done. Paul said, look, man, I'm ready to die at Jerusalem. I ain't tripping. And they tried to persuade him, like, no, come on, no. They said, well, you know what? We can't stop him, so let the Lord will be done. It is what it is. So, yeah, you go to the next one.
Yeah, that's why Yahushua got mad at Peter. He said, what you trying to do? That's why he was getting mad at the end of the day, because he's trying to stop the will of the Lord.
He said,
It's his lot to give up the ghost.
yeah. He said, you don't desire the things that be the most high, man. He said, look, Hold on. He also told him too. He said, "Look, I'm trying to tell you, Peter. Look, you gonna deny me, man." Peter said, "Look, no, I'm not. Man. No, I'm not. What are you talking about? No, I'm not."
That's another good.
Then he said he spake sharply. Look, no, I'm not.
He did it 3 times.
Look, I'm not doing that, man. How you gonna tell me I'm doing that, Yahusha? Yeah, you got the Son of Man telling you what you gonna do, and you telling him, no, I'm not. Hey, thrice.
Twice.
They said, Yahusha said, look, I'm trying to tell you, man. It didn't happen. Peter went away weeping. That's how you know that's Jake. Jake be sick of it.
He started getting mad.
Jake be
Like, no,
sick.
that wasn't me.
He said, I was not with. What you talking about? And that little girl said, yes, you was.
Yeah.
You was.
3 times.
Then he got mad and said, no, I
And they
wasn't.
said, surely that was him.
Then he called it to remembrance and he went away weeping.
That's how people you go off,
Cussed her
though.
out.
You realize you go off like, damn. And you begin to cry and
Be
shit.
sick about it.
And then another thing that's so crazy about it, even when it comes to like Esau and Jacob, it said before they even did evil or good.
Yeah, they do say that. Yeah, Romans 9. You started like verse 10.
Before they even did good or evil, he chose who he chose.
That's the lots.
Yep, predestined lots.
We didn't even choose to be prophets of the Bible. He picked each and every one of us single-handedly. When you read Jeremiah 1 and 5, we were just ordained.
I knew thee from the womb.
I mean,
That's right.
This is our father. You know what I'm saying?
I was just saying, if he chose Adam from the beginning to do something, I mean, everything else would have to be the same nature. I don't see what-
That's right. Everything's chosen. Moving on to the next question. Can women perform an abortion? I mean, sound plain, right? But there are certain circumstances are more inconvenient than the next, such as assault, right? And that's where this question really, ties into. What if sister was assaulted and now it fell upon her that she may be pregnant? What should she do? And again, this is one of those accounts where it's easy to read or hard to comprehend, right? Because again, until it happens, brothers aren't going to be thinking of that, that mighty Israelite mindset. Not going to be thinking all of that, right? That's why you'll never really know what you'll do until you're in that situation. And brothers previously just brought up the point for Peter. Man, I'd die for you, Lord. I give up the ghost for you. He did the opposite. So that's why it's important to touch on the bread to understand that, keep it refreshed in your mind on what spirit you're supposed to move in, regardless of the situation, unfortunately. Right? There are unfortunate situations that happen. Can we kick it off with Sirach 40 and 1, Barbara Shaw?
It's the book of Sirach, chapter 40 and verse 1. Great travail is created for every man, and a heavy yoke is upon the sons of Adam.
Right, that includes the women as well. Heavy yoke is upon the sons of Adam, men, women, and children. Go ahead.
From the day that they go out of their mother's womb to the day that they return to the mother of all things.
Right, from the moment you come into this world, from the moment you leave this world, terrible things may happen. Awful, unfortunate things may happen. And this particular manner in which we're speaking of is assault, right? Sexual assault, right? That may lead to impregnation. You got it.
Verse 2, their imagination of things to come, and the day of death, trouble their thoughts, and cause fear of heart. From him that sitteth on the throne of glory, unto him that is humbled in earth and ashes.
That's right. So it's not as simple as don't do it. That's obvious, right? Obviously, don't do it. You can't do it. But you have to provide a little bit more substance as to why you shouldn't do it, right? Because again, this may be foreign to some brothers. It may be too hard. Some brothers may say, well, no, that's not fair. That don't count. Delete, destroy the baby, right? Remove it. Wow. So again, it's a hard matter. It's one of those sticky matters. So let's keep it plain. You can get Proverbs 16 and 33 again.
It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 16 and verse 33. The lot is cast into the lap, but the whole disposing thereof is of the Lord.
It's all of the Lord at the end of the day, right? So everybody has a certain lot, and certain lots may happen upon you for the Lord to see how you're going to endure that trial and tribulation. And this is where your faith really comes in. Because you have to have faith that the Lord is allowing certain things to happen for a greater purpose. But again, it's easy to read, hard to comprehend. Well, this happened to me when I was younger, and that happened. But what was that for? Well, we touched on this Sirach 40:1. That's the trials and tribulations of becoming man and woman, right? But it's all matters on how you're gonna handle it and how you're gonna perform that which is according to God. So again, obviously, no, you can't commit abortions and perform abortions, but I want to more so answer the point of why these things may happen, right? And how should we handle it? So before I continue, did you have a precept before I get Psalms?
Let's get Isaiah 64:8 real quick.
It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 64 and verse 8. But now, O Lord, thou art our Father. We are the clay, and thou art powder, and we are all the work of thy hand.
So really, because you know, when it comes to this topic, it could be a sensitive topic and whatnot. But one thing that a lot of our women like to yell out is "my body, my choice," where it's really not your body. You know what I'm saying? The Lord really made you and created you, and you the work of His hands. We just the clay. The Most High, the potter, He could shape and fashion us however so He will. So it's really not your body to do what you want to do with it and choose if you want to bring life or death in and out of your body. It's really the Most High. He created us. He gave us this body. So you really can't just do what you want to do with it. So let's get 1 Corinthians 6:19. Well, matter of fact, we could start at 18. 1 Corinthians 6:18.
It's the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 6 and verse 18. Flee fornication. Every sin that a man doeth is without the body. But he that committeth fornication sinneth against his own body. What? Know you not that your body is a temple of the Holy Ghost?
Is what?
Is a temple of the Holy Ghost?
Right, so our body, you feel me? We got the Spirit of the Lord within our body. So you can't just take it upon yourself, you know. And I'm speaking more so in the sense of the women that just want to be wicked when it comes to abortion.
Yeah.
Just want to be wicked with it. Sister, you can't do that. Your body not even your body. Right? You especially a sister that's in the truth that know who she is. Says your body belongs to the Lord. You can't just take life in and out of it and just go, I don't want this, I'm gonna kill it. Go ahead.
Which is in you, which ye have of the Most High, and you are not your own, but ye are bought with a price. Therefore glorify the Most High in your body and in your spirit, which are God's.
So the Lord said we not our own. So it's not really your body, your choice. Like I said, it's more towards the wicked women that be on a very bad type of time, which is that's very sad. But it's really not your own body for you to be saying, you know, look, I can do what I want with it.
You can get 1 Kings, it's like Judges. That's what I want. This is going to be 13. You can jump down to verse 4. It's like you said, verse 3.
Book of Judges, chapter 13 and verse 3. And the angel of the Lord appeared unto the woman and said unto her, Behold now, thou art barren and bearest not, but thou shalt conceive and bear a son. Now therefore I beware, I pray thee, and drink not wine or strong drink, and eat not any unclean thing. For lo, thou shalt conceive and bear a son, and no razor shall come upon his head, for the child shall be a Nazarite unto the Most High from the womb.
Why did this slack here? Well, let's continue.
And he shall begin to deliver Israel out of the hand of the Philistines. Then the woman came and told her husband, saying, A man of God came unto me, and his countenance was like the countenance of an angel of God, very terrible. But I asked him not whence he was, neither told me his name. But he said unto me, Behold, thou shalt conceive and bear a son, and now drink no wine nor strong drink, neither eat any unclean thing, for the child shall be a Nazarite to the Most High from the womb.
From the where?
From the womb.
Right, so even from the womb, right, this angel is declaring that there's a child, that there will be a child in you. Right, from the moment of conception. Now you can say, well, where does it say conception? Well, how do you know when you're pregnant? Right, you get the signs. Right, those signs indicate that you are pregnant with child. Even most doctors will say you can't really drink wine when you know that you're first pregnant. That's not good for anything. You literally damage what's inside of you.
Real quick point on the it's folly, but on a lot of alcoholic beverages, it says if you pregnant or with child, don't drink this. On wines and alcohols and stuff like that.
So this So this child is a Nazarite from the womb, right? We're bringing this out to establish that there is life in the womb.
Yep.
You can't move that mindset of, well, hold up, I didn't feel the kick, so it's not there. I'm not in my 15th week. I'm not in this week, or whatever. There's no way that you can circumnavigate or circumvent the fact that there is a child in your womb from conception. There's no way. You can't do it. Can you go to Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7, verse 1?
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7 and 1. I myself am a mortal man, like to all, and the offspring of him that was first made of the earth. And in my mother's womb was fashioned to be flesh in a time of 10 months, and being compacted in blood of the seed of man, and the pleasure that came with sleep.
Right. So he was compacted in his mother's womb for 10 months. When does the first month start? When does it start? From the moment that conception happens. It's plain upon tables. So birth does happen at conception. And you have to deal with it. You may not like it, right? And it may be, if you fall into an unfortunate situation, I mean, it's still a child in there, right? The spirit is upon that child. I have one more. It's Psalms, I believe it's Psalms chapter 105. Let me pull it out. It's in the cut. It's going to be Psalms 100 and 109, 113. It might be 137, 38.
Quick point, real quick.
I'll find it. You got it.
Real quick point to what you're not saying too. Like that's another thing too. Like you don't know who that child gonna grow up to be. You know what I'm saying? Like the Lord had great things for that child for real. You know. So that's just another point I wanted to make on that. Like with Samson, you know, he was used to deliver Israel. You know, destroy the enemies, be a judge and whatnot. So like that's things to consider. You know, as well. You know, before you just do something that you shouldn't be doing. You know, aborting a child and stuff like that. Like that child could be great for real. That child could be the next prophet in Israel. That child could be the elect for real. I mean, you never know.
This is actually to add to his point and certain things that you said. It's one of my favorite precepts. Isaiah 49:1. Listen, O isles, unto me, and hearken, ye people from far. The Lord hath called me from the womb, and from the bowels of my mother hath he made mention of my name. So it's the same thing that happened to Jeremiah 1:5. The same thing happened to Isaiah as well. If you're that child, if you're that elect, that the Lord has a purpose for you in this life, it's going to come to pass in fruition regardless of what people think of in regards to the abortion. Because the abortion really is just a ritual on the left-hand side, which is even in the law, but in the idea.
No, that's facts. For the most part, they're done for the purpose of just alleviating yourself from the responsibility of motherhood and or fatherhood, which is obviously wicked because what are y'all doing together? You're not gonna be fruitful and multiply. I mean, that's just folly. Don't put yourself in a situation. Don't purposely put yourself in a situation that you can't handle. The Lord already said and said, right, burden not thyself above thy power. So you don't want to just do certain things and lewd things, whether it be in sincerity or whatever, and just not want to deal with the actions thereof. And it was Psalms 139 and verse 13.
It's the book of Psalms, chapter 139 and verse 13, and it reads, For thou hast possessed my reins, thou hast covered me in my mother's womb.
Thou hast covered me even in my mother's womb. Starting with that moment of conception from the first month until the 10th or 7th, however many months it may last. Nevertheless, the Lord covered thee in thy mother's womb, regardless of the circumstance and or situation of how that child may have gotten there. Psalms 139 and verse 13. It's like, yeah, that was Psalms 139 and verse 13. Now you can grab Luke chapter 1, verse 41.
It's the book of Luke, chapter 1, verse 41. And it came to pass when Elizabeth heard the salvation of Mary, the babe leaped in her womb, and Elizabeth was filled with the Holy Ghost.
Right, she was filled with the Holy Ghost. Right, the child leaped in the womb. That indicates obviously, and that's so wicked for people to say that that child is not alive and is not a human. When it literally kicks in the womb, it leaps. It has a literal heartbeat, but it's not alive until it comes out the womb. That's complete folly. And to land me off the previous points that was mentioned in the very beginning, where one may say, well, my body, my choice. I mean, Esau tells you what to do with your body. Esau tells you, don't run a red light. Esau tells you, don't kill as well. So it's never your body, your choice. It really, truly isn't your body, not even in this land. Right? Because if you do something, I mean, you're going to get judged for it. Because nothing is truly yours at the end of the day. Not the clothes that you wear, not the food that you consume. Everything in the fullness thereof is all of the Lord. Right? You can get Luke chapter 1, verse, let's jump all the way up to covered with the Holy Spirit. Luke chapter 1, verse 19.
Book of Luke chapter 1 verse 19. And the angel answered and said unto him, I am Gabriel, that stand in the presence of the Most High, and am sent to speak unto thee, and to show thee glad tidings. And behold, thou shalt be dumb.
It's like verse 35.
Verse 35. And the angel answered and said unto her, the Holy Ghost shall come upon thee, and the power of the highest shall overshadow thee. Therefore also, that holy thing which shall be born of thee shall be called the Son of God.
Right. When it mentions the Holy Ghost and the power of the highest shall overshadow you, the Lord's going to allow you to have that child, right, in the moment of your copulating. And again, I mean, this may be done, you know, willingly or voluntarily or involuntarily, but nevertheless, I mean, it's one of those hard things to swallow, easy to read, or hard to comprehend. But nevertheless, at the end of the day, everything is of the Lord. And our feelings can't outweigh the words of the Most High, Yahweh Shemel Shai. Because if that was the case, then we'll be all lawless. We'll move our feelings. But the law is always impartial, even in this land, or at least it should be. Right? Do brothers have precepts?
Oh, one more. Yeah, 2 Maccabees 7:21.
It's the book of 2 Maccabees, chapter 7, and verse number 21. She exhorted every one of them in her own language, filled with courageous spirits, and stirring up her womanish thoughts with a manly stomach, and said unto them, I cannot tell how you came into my womb.
What the Lord say?
I cannot tell how you came into my womb.
Right, so for you to be saying your body, your choice, you can't even, it's too deep for Eve to even understand how the baby being formed to even begin with, man. Right, so how you really gonna sit here and think you know the right thing to do when you just want to be a decrepit woman, a evil woman? But you sitting here laying down, you know, man after man after man, unprotected, blah, blah, blah. You putting yourself at a chance to get a child. And you don't even really know on a deeper level, you feel me, the Lord is allowing the spirit to come upon that seed for that seed to form and become a baby in that womb, man. That's deep for real when you think about it. Then here you go with your murderous ways. What if they did that to your maggot self?
Right.
And you never got a chance to be here. Now what? But guess what? On a deeper level, the Lord let you come into life. Go ahead.
For I cannot tell how you came into my womb, for I neither gave you breath nor life.
What the Lord say?
For I neither gave you breath nor life.
Right, so you not, it's the Lord that's allowing that baby to come alive. So who are you to take life from it? And you not even giving it breath or life to begin with. And so that's bogus for real when you think about it. That's messed up. You got it.
Neither was it I that formed the members of every one of you.
Right, so it's not you that's literally doing it, man. The Most High let that baby come into fruition, man, and grow and be something. And it's doing that from the moment. The moment it, what you say, conceive, the moment. Or however Esau break it down, that the little squirmy get into the egg. From that egg is on. It's on and popping. So you, like your brother said, oh, well, I don't see a bump yet. My stomach not really getting too big, not just yet. Sister, it don't matter. It's life in that thing, man. Straight up and down. It's life inside all us brothers in here. That's life within itself. Our seed within itself is life. And the Lord allowed it to actually form into something. So you can't take it upon yourself and think you could do what you want to do with something that you didn't even create. Go ahead.
Verse 23. But doubtless the creator of the world, who formed the generation of man, and found out the beginning of all things, will also of his own mercy give you breath and life again, as you now regard not your own selves for his own sake.
Alright, so it's the Most High that give breath and life, man, to a, to a baby, to a child, man. So that's bold for you to be trying to, you dang there, it's pride for real, too. You not the Most High. To kill that baby, take life away from him. You got it.
That's right. And I was going to even go as far as to say, I mean, if it's your body, your choice, and if women want to boast that women give birth, I mean, again, the Lord makes you give birth. The Lord is allowing that to happen. I mean, if you had that much control, you wouldn't allow miscarriages. You wouldn't allow untimely birth as well. If it's truly your body, you have that true control and power, you wouldn't allow the unfortunate events of, the unfortunate stuff of pregnancy happen. You wouldn't allow it if it was truly your body and truly your ability to give birth. But the Lord makes barren, and the Lord allows women to, be able to conceive.
Yeah,
That's the Lord's will and never yours.
exactly.
That just goes to show and further prove it's never really your body. Same way it's not our body. But like our body isn't our body.
Yeah.
Quick, add one more. You can get.
I just want to jump to the topic. We got it.
Well, you can jump to the next topic. I was just, hey, quick point. You feel me? It's not our body, our choice either. When we lie down with our woman and we do the thing, man, like, we don't call a shot if that baby gonna come forth and all that just because we did what we did.
Mhm.
It ain't even our choice. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you know what you getting yourself into. You know what could come of it.
Yeah.
And if the Lord want seed to conceive inside that woman, that's what's gonna happen. You got brothers that get jammed up. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes Eve set the play on Jake. He say, look, I ain't want no kids. I ain't want no kids. What you doing? Hey, well, brother, you can't encourage her to abort that baby when you know what you did.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Because the Most High, it's nothing for the Most High to let life come into that thing. Nothing. You may think your rib barren. Hey, then, split second, there she go. Now, boom. Hey, because the Lord could do that. So it's not even our choice. And we got the seed in us. We got the life in us, and we still don't dictate it. So, I mean, come on now. The whole my body, my choice just want to be wicked about it. That's foul, man. That's foul.
Right?
You got it. Just talk.
You get that right. It's like Deuteronomy 22 and 28.
It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 22, and verse number 28. If a man,
Verse 27.
verse 27. For he found her in the field, and the betrothed damsel cried, and there was none to save her. If a man find a damsel that is a virgin, which is not betrothed, and lay hold on her and lie with her, and they be found, then that the man that lay with her shall give unto the damsel's father 50 shekels of silver, and she shall be his wife, because he hath humbled her. He may not put her away all his days.
That's right. And so you've had unfortunate situations all throughout the scriptures. People may say, well, that's too heavy, that doesn't really apply now. And yeah, we do have grace and mercy in a lot of aspects, but I'm just harping on one main point, and that's unfortunate circumstances happening, right? That's the main thing I want to extract from this verse. But sincerely and with all exhortation, you got to keep it moving through the Spirit of the Lord, right? And again, that may take time, but nevertheless, you have to constantly endure, as we read in Sirach, the 2nd chapter, right? Regardless of unfortunate situations that may have happened to you, whether you be man or woman.
Yeah.
Men get assaulted too,
Oh, yeah.
right? In every shape, form, and fashion. That doesn't allow them to take it upon themselves to seek vengeance and to do whatever, because vengeance is of the Lord, right? And it's one of those, it should be, you would think is milk, but it is bumped up to bread because, it's a hard concept for people to understand.
Yeah, very touchy topic.
Yeah, very touchy, very emotional. Not to say it's wicked that it's an emotional topic, but it is what it is. It's one of those topics that does have to be touched on, and isn't touched on enough.
I'm about to say, men do go through it too. Now, of course, obviously, if it happened to a man, obviously he's not gonna conceive seed, but nevertheless, I mean, men, things can happen to brothers too. Not necessarily us, but just saying, brother, you get used to saying brothers in the truth. Men in general, things can happen to men as well. Men get castrated.
Yeah.
That's in the scripture. He castrated, man. That's very unfortunate. What if that man did want kids? Nah, it can never happen. So unfortunate things happen to all of us, man. So it's not just, Eve that go through it. Might get assaulted, conceive, so on and so forth. Like the brother said, humbly speaking, you do have to ultimately, you got to keep the boat flowing. You can't just sink ship. A brother get castrated, you can't just, call it quits. You
Kill
still,
himself.
yeah, you still alive. You gotta, you gotta keep going, man. It's tough. I'm not saying it, it may come out easy, but I know it's easier said than done. But you gotta do it, man.
There's brothers that may have wanted to, I'm sure it happened in time past. Brothers may have wanted to kill themselves because they can't conceive a child. Or they may have got castrated or the privy members jammed up.
Yeah, that hurt brothers.
Yeah.
Some men that have, they call it, I'm gonna say low seed count.
Oh,
They
yeah.
have
Erectile
low-
dysfunction.
Yeah, that hurt brothers, man. And you got women that's very fruitful and just abort. And you fruitful, and you got that, man. Some sisters really can't bear children. They will go to the extreme measure of seed donors and so on and so forth. And here you are, very fruitful, it can multiply, and you just kill them. Every time, get out of here and stay on the birth forever. Come on, sister. Your job is to bring life into this world with a man of the Lord, You got a point.
I wanted to bring out a precept, Ecclesiastes, starting at chapter 4, verse 9.
Oh, yeah.
Because when it comes to this topic, it's more so about what do you do now with life after, right?
I was about to say.
We see what it is in Deuteronomy, when that happens to anybody, right?
Yeah.
A woman or a man, it's almost as taking a life away. It's almost as killing them.
Mm-hmm.
That's the magnitude that the Most High see it as. So that's why I want to bring this precept up.
So book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 4 and verse 9. Two are better than one, because they have a good reward for their labor.
Read on.
For if they fall, the one will lift up his fellow. But woe unto him that is alone when he falleth, for he hath not another to help him up.
So in that type of situation, you gotta have the people around you to encourage you to continue to move forward with the best that you can, and yeah, and ultimately just keep that focus on the Lord. Finish out with verse 12.
Verse 11. If two lie together, then they have heat. But how can one be warm alone? And if one prevail against him, two shall withstand him. And a threefold cord is not quickly broken.
Right, so that analogy is given right there, threefold cord stronger. So you gotta have people with you that be able to hold you up and flow. A lot of people that go through that, they isolate themselves because it's such a heavy thing. And that's when Satan can hop on you to make that type of choice.
And I want to re-mention that verse 27 and 28 in Deuteronomy 22 aren't not coherent, but they aren't tied together. 25 through 27 tie together. 28 is touching another stipulation. Whenever you read if in the scriptures, it's just another stipulation. It's like an if-then moments. If this were to happen, then this must happen. So when you read 28, it's not the exact same situation as 26 and 27. Right? If this were to happen, then this must happen. If this were to happen, then this must happen. Because again, you have, and this happened in Israel, you have Eve that laid down with a brother quickly. And a field doesn't always have to be in a field, right? That can be in a crib, apartment, hotel, a motel, an Airbnb. A field isn't always a field, it's just a representation of the setting that action may take place.
Yep.
So if you lay down with a woman, and she a virgin, and just moving out of lust, you gotta be with her now. You gotta deal with it, right? That's not talking about assaulting her. It's just another stipulation, right? And of course, if the situation may have happened where she was assaulted, and whatever the situation may be, Most High have mercy on who have mercy. And that's why he had judges set up as well to make decisions. That's literally why the Lord set judges up. Because even when you read, when the Lord said, thou shalt not tempt the Lord, it's like another, thou shalt not revile the gods. There's no actual said judgment that shall happen, right? The Lord didn't say then this must happen, right? The judges are set up to make their own decisions as well through the Spirit, right? Predicated off the law and mercy and according to the situation. The crime must fit the punishment. right? When you read in 2 Kings, the children, they were vowed to gods, right? And what happened to them? They got eaten by the bear.
Yep.
So the Lord is always going to judge situations, and man also, in part, has the ability of understanding through the Spirit to judge accordingly, right?
25.
You can get Sirach chapter 17 and verse 1.
It's the book of Sirach, chapter 17, and verse 1. The Lord created man of the earth and turned him into it again. He gave him a few days in a short time, and power also over the things therein. He endued them with strength by themselves, and made them according to his image, and put the fear of man upon all flesh, and gave him dominion over beasts and fowls. They received the use of the 5 operations of the Lord, and in the 6th place he imparted them understanding, and in the 7th speech, an interpreter of the cogitations thereof. Counsel and a tongue, and eyes, ears, and a heart gave he them to understand. Withal he filled them with the knowledge of understanding, and showed them good and evil.
That's right. So the Most High gave us understanding on how to judge accordingly through the Spirit. Even when you read the book of Acts, right, there are certain judgments that are from the hand of the apostles, right? And of course, we judge a lot more mercifully in these last days because, Yahweh taught us mercy, and there's mercy even within the law. But with that, I'll finish this question with the Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 9, verse, let me start 1 and 3. We can get Wisdom of Solomon 6. That's what I want. 6 and verse 1.
It's the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 6, and verse 1. Hear therefore, O ye kings, and understand. Learn ye that be judges of the ends of the earth. Give ear, you that rule the people, and glory in the multitude of nations. For power is given you of the Lord, and sovereignty from the highest. Who shall try your works and search out your counsels?
That's right. So the Lord is going to try our works and search out our counsels, right? That further just means that we're going to have the ability to judge situations at hand, right? Based off the circumstances, the spirit, the precepts, and then some. Right? So for those who may have an ear, let them understand that every situation is not going to be the same. So, brothers, have any precepts before we continue on? It's a heavy topic, but it got to be touched on. There should be no stone left unturned.
I think I got it. No.
You said what?
I think I have one precept.
You got it.
It goes into this topic as well as the other topic as well, the free will. Because they kind of both intertwine. Because, even when a female says my body, my choice, she don't know what's going on or what she's talking about. So it's the book of Proverbs, chapter 29 and verse 26. Many seek a ruler's favor, but every man's judgment coming from the Lord. So ultimately, when it comes to bringing forth that child, your actions, your decisions, or even in regards to not just having that child, but even in regards to the choices you make in life, it's the Lord that's giving you that mind and that spirit to do so.
That's right. And for the sake of time, we'll cut short and do a part 2 or will the next week, right? We may do another bread. We're going to do another bread because we touched about 2 questions, 2 to 3 questions.
Get like that, man.
It'd be like that through the Spirit. So we're going to do bread again, right? I'm going to close out. Can you get Barbara Gashar, Luke chapter 7, verse 47?
It's the book of Luke, chapter 7, and verse 47, and it reads, Wherefore I say unto thee, her sins which are many are forgiven, for she loved much, but to him little is forgiven, the same loveth little.
That's right. If you love the Lord little, you receive a little, right? He'll forgive you just a little bit, right? But if you love the Lord greatly through your works, through your actions, right, by keeping the law and loving your brother, he's going to love you a lot. Therefore, a lot of your sins will be forgiven. And we all want our sins to be forgiven. It says, blessed is he whose iniquity is forgiven, right? You're going to be a blessed man because you're going to be avoiding death, destruction, and judgment. So in these last days, you have to lay that up upon your heart, right? That I have to sincerely love the Lord. And by loving the Lord, you loving my brothers. How much am I loving my brothers through the Spirit? God, you got it.
Sirach, I'll close it out with Sirach 2011.
It's the book of Sirach, chapter 2 and verse 11, and it reads, For the Lord is full of compassion and mercy, long-suffering, and very pitiful, and forgiveth sins, and saveth in a time of affliction.
Right, so brothers gotta remember that. Brothers gotta actually have faith in that. We mess up, we go off, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes we ain't even going on, we on fire. But we still gotta have that same trust, hope, faith, and confidence in the Most High, because He's very pitiful. He saveth in time of affliction, and He forgiveth sins, man. Right? So the Lord is very merciful. So like the brother brought out, the ones that is forgiven much, and they gonna love a lot. They gonna love heavily. And that's because the Lord got that great mercy. He's very pitiful, and He saved in time of affliction, man. So the Lord shows us a lot of compassion, like the scripture just said. And that's that servant that's going to be deeply in love with the Most High. Because, like, man, I done did this, I done did that. And I love the Most High so much because He's been greatly passionate to me. He's been greatly pitiful to me. He done saved me in every moment of affliction, man. Right? So don't forget about the Lord's mercy and always have faith in His mercy because it's great.
Yeah, you're going to find a lot of hope in the scriptures, like I said in Romans 15 and 4.
Yeah.
You're going to find a lot of hope and comfort in the scriptures. If you think Esau can give you that old ass, Edomite on the chair with the glasses with his doctoral degree, you think he's going to give you some hope? I mean, that ain't nothing compared to what the Lord can give you.
Yeah.
Right? The Lord really turned our life around. I was thinking about that driving, but not driving, but I was actually thinking about that before Ezekiel picked me up. Right? The Lord really look out for us.
Yeah, He do, man. He show a lot of mercy.
He give us a lot of hope and something. He give us something to hope for.
He literally do.
Yeah.
That's Romans the 8th chapter, man. We subject to vanity, but it's for hope at the end of the day. So the Lord really don't got us doing this for nothing. And that's been an area, you feel me? I really been trying to increase in lately is that faith, man. I swear, like, man, the Lord said He move them out. And those spirits be mounting sometimes, man. Mountain ain't always gotta be literal, man. And you can overcome the biggest humps, man, with having faith. And it just keep you going. It just keep that drive and that determination in you, man. Like I love that precept in Philippians 3 about 13. You can keep reading 2:14, but hey, man, what was yesterday, man. It's over with now. And we pressing forward towards the mark.
Yeah.
Right.
Full of faith, man. Head high with hope in the Lord. That's the only thing that's gonna keep you going is truth. Keeping that high level of faith and hope in the Most High. Because once you lose that, your conscience gonna condemn you. Now you don't have no confidence in the Lord. Now you just feel like giving up. Why even try? Why even fight? Why stop doing it? Why? So you got to keep your faith, trust, and confidence in your heart about your
Right. Hope is one could say hope is a more desperate form of faith, right? Because people have faith first and then they kind of have hope. Hope is like you're standing in your last leg. Like, I hope this happens. I hope. There's a little bit more desperation behind hope, right?
Yeah, it is, because you got that in Hebrews 11:1, the classic. You feel me? Hope is faith is the hope of things not yet seen. You know what I'm saying? So like faith is kind of just simply, I think even when you go into the word, it's just like the belief, what you believe. Like I said, I believe the sky blue. I got faith is blue, and it ain't gonna turn no other color. But hope is different, because like hope is like you ain't seen it yet, so you hope, like you say, look, I'm on one leg. Hey, I hope I can make it. I hope I can, overcome this hurdle, whatever the case may be, because you ain't seen yourself do it yet, so you hoping in what you haven't really seen. That's why we hope in salvation. We ain't literally seen chariots come beam people up just yet. We ain't seen it yet, but we really hoping that. So hope is a little different from faith. Like, of course we believe in this truth. Yeah, we believe the precepts, we believe in how much we outside yet. But having hope that He really gonna shoot mercy on you, that's totally different. Because you ain't really seen Him do it yet. So it's kind of hard for people to have hope in things that they haven't really seen. That's why faith is not that.
Yeah, the Lord didn't come down and say, I have forgiven you. You gotta have hope that He forgave you.
He ain't really do. He ain't show you that just yet. You feel me?
The Lord believe. I have hope that He's forgiven me. I just have hope.
Yeah, it's deep when you think about it, bro. It's beautiful.
You got it, King.
Oh, it's that one. I was thinking that one precept was like, we gonna love Him whom we have not seen. You know what I'm saying? That's also hope in a way too, because we ain't never seen the Lord.
Yeah.
We not witnesses how Peter was. Witnesses.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Come on, 1 John 4:20.
That's exactly what I'm looking for.
That's a song,
Yeah.
1 John 4:20. Yep. If a man say I love God and hateth his brother, he is a liar. For he that loveth not his brother, whom he haven't seen, how can he love God, whom he hath not seen? Exactly. So it's just like, you gotta have enough hope that the Most High, you gotta love your brother that actually had a hope that the Lord gonna love you. You know what I'm saying? It's like, we hoping it's something we have never seen before, but we believe so much, and that's where that faith come in, because the belief is the faith. But the hope is like, yo,
It's what you ain't seen.
Yeah, it's
man.
like,
It's so deep.
it's
It's like you gotta hope in salvation. You gotta literally hope in salvation.
Yeah.
You got to, because I'm be honest, like faith, like I believe we gonna be saved,
Yeah,
but
right.
I ain't seen it yet.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like I really gotta have hope that look, this guy go crack. We for sure getting beamed up. You know what I'm saying? You gotta really hope in it, man, because you just ain't seen it yet. Like I got faith. I feel like this is just me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I never deem myself as the elect, but I feel like a lot of sincere brothers got a pretty good chance. I got faith that the majority of us really can make it. You
Right.
keep, because I mean the Lord gave us the formula. We got the secret formula.
Right.
Stay on fire, keep repenting. You feel me? Read, pray, fast, study. You know, just stay doing what you gotta do. Stay diligent. You feel me? Keep the fear of the Lord. Keep the commandments to the best of your ability. He gave us simple milk precepts to tell us, look, just do this and you'll literally make it.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
me personally, I try to, like I tell people, I don't bank on me not getting the kingdom. Why would I bank on not getting the kingdom? I bank on getting the kingdom.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm putting.
That's faith.
Hey, I'm banking on getting the
That's
kingdom.
faith.
So I always try to keep faith. Like, man, we got a pretty good chance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got a pretty good chance.
And that's a good mindset to have too. You know what I'm saying? Because some brothers may be like, well, brother, you kind of, no, like, you want to have that type of faith to believe, like, yo, I have faith that the Lord gonna do this for me, that He will forgive my sins. If you just, He ain't gonna forgive me. And He might not just forgive me, like, bro, you doubted in me. You doubted.
I remember Dr. Malak told me that one time, you practically bearing false witness. How you gonna say what the Lord?
Right.
How you gonna say that?
Yeah.
How? You know?
Now you just seeing.
Yeah, now you making your situation worse. Or you condemn your conscience. Let your conscience condemn you.
Kind of bearing
Not
false
saying
witness.
got your head clapped.
Yep.
Okay, we'll close out with these 2 points, and I got one precept. You got it.
God.
Oh, God, well, quick to let me back on what Dino said. He always made the point in Acts chapter 1, when the apostles saw Christ return, it wasn't like, oh my God, you actually came back. Like they faith was so strong, they were just waiting. It's like it was actually that time, like they didn't know what was happening. But they weren't in disbelief that he actually returned. Right?
Yeah.
They knew what was gonna happen. I was gonna say the definition of the word faith is trust or confidence in something or someone. So a strong trust and confidence without actually having proof of it. Whereas hope is a positive expectation of something that you're not aware of. Like, you're not sure if
You
it
ain't
may
seen
actually
it.
turn out that way. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So you gotta really trust in the words of the Lord and believe that's gonna happen. That's what faith is. Trust.
I want to read that real quick in Hebrews 11:1. It says, Hebrews 11:1, now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. So the scriptures give it to you straight up, man. That's what faith is, man. It's the hope of what you ain't seen yet.
Yeah. That's hard, bro.
That's hard. You got it.
You got it.
Point I was gonna make was like how the Most High will give us visions and how He give many other prophets visions of seeing things. I feel like that's mainly where like you're gonna see. That's your proof pretty much that you will be saved. It's Him giving you those visions of all the things to come. Like you might not be able to interpret it yet, but like if you bring certain visions to a brother, somebody give a book to a prophecy that has happened before or that's going to be said to happen in future tense, and that's pretty much the positive outlook I have.
Yeah, the Lord give you a vision or a dream and stuff like that.
You know?
Brothers be having Mayim Kayim. Hey, that's the vision man right there.
Right.
I tell you. Hey, he be having visions, boy.
That's right. Close out with Acts chapter 2, verse 26.
It's the book of Acts, chapter 2, and verse number 26. Therefore did my heart rejoice, and my tongue was glad. Moreover, my flesh shall rest in hope.
We're going to have our flesh rest in hope. But with that, we're going to bid Israel right. Shalom, apparatus Israel's been edified through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemel Shai. Kwam Yisrael.
Kwam Yisrael.
Kwam Yisrael.
Kwam Yisrael.
Kwam Yisrael.
Kwam Yisrael.
Where is it?